course. So that's, some technologies, like Anthem room correction is also used with Paradigm subwoofers as well. So there are some commonalities. There is a lot of shared knowledge. And that's why I think, they actually work together. I mean, the good power handling, so the performance of the speakers, plus obviously the performance of Anthem, I think it's a good combination. Then after we spent some talking to each other, I realized actually they have a lot of experience in the cinema industry. So they've done a lot of cinemas themselves. They understand Dolby. They understand how to make home cinema works. So this is exactly what we need.
สวัสดีครับเพื่อนผมเก่งกับชานะครับเพื่อนๆครับวันนี้นะครับผมมี Exclusive Interview ครับจาก PML Sound นะครับข้างๆผมนี่คือ Mr. Bartos นะครับครั้งนี้นะครับผมถือได้เลยว่าเป็น movement ใหม่แล้วก็เป็นก้าวกระโดดนะครับโดยเฉพาะกับ Goldenduck นะครับเพื่อไม่ให้เป็นการเสียเวลาวันนี้เรามาพูดคุยกับเขาเลยดีกว่านะครับ So Mr. Bartos tell us a little bit about yourself since everybody is dying to know the new movement. Let's talk about it.
So actually my name is Bart, as you say, or Bartosz, for those who can pronounce it correctly,
Bartosz.
Because I'm actually Polish.
Okay.
So I come from Poland and I started working for PML Sound in November last year. Actually I was given the chance to work on the Asian and Middle East markets.
Sure.
For me that was really a nice opportunity because the area is quite new. So I was sort of eager to explore that opportunity. So I started in November. And again, the reason I joined the company is because actually, even though I knew the brands before, I was not aware of how much technology there is in the products, how much research actually went into the product. So I decided the markets are interesting. The company is very interesting because there is a lot to talk about. I think hi-fi or, AV industry is crowded with lots of products. The question is how you differentiate yourself from the competition. You have to have things to talk about.
That's right.
And that's actually what convinced me. And I joined the company.
So not very long ago you joined the company, just last November, so that's roughly about 6 months ago. So what is PML? Like actually PML, what do they do? Yeah?
So it's actually, I would say it's an entity, it's a brand within Paradigm, because within Paradigm we actually internationally we sell 3 brands.
Sure.
So there is Paradigm, we have Anthem, and we also have Martin Logan.
Wow.
So three separate brands that we distribute worldwide. And we have to choose the right partners. Sometimes we have one partner covering all the brands. Sometimes we split distribution because there is a bit of overlap in terms of products. Sure. So we have to make sure that we utilize the potential.
Sure. So normally we heard about Anthem, like we know Anthem for sure, and Paradigm. Like we know about Martin Logan's, which is I don't know if it's really big in it, but normally we heard about Paradigm and Anthem match together. Is that a particular reason?
Yeah, I mean, actually, it's a good match, I think, because Anthem is a strong brand, especially in the multimedia sector, AV industry, like home cinema.
Sure.
Anthem does a few stereo products as well, which are very good. But I think if you say Anthem, many people associate it with multi-channel.
Yes.
And within Paradigm as well, we have a lot of setups that are specially meant for multi-channel reproduction. Surround, center channel speakers, again, what have you, the box speakers, custom install speakers, subwoofers. So the range even, before we started this interview, I told you that our product presentation is 100 slides long.
Yes,
it takes a few hours just to list the categories of products we do. So I think it's a good match because those products actually work together, and both brands are very strong in terms of technologies they use.
That's right.
And there's a lot to talk about.
But when you test the product, do you use Anthem as a reference and use the Paradigm as the testing standard?
I think a good product will work with any other product in general. So it has to perform.
It has to, yes.
But again, we can talk about some, again, every brand designs its products in a way, right? So, for example, with Paradigm, a lot is based on research that was done many years ago in Canada, but not Canadian National Research Council at University of Ottawa. And the purpose was to determine what people considered as good sound. And we came up with a few parameters that were important to people, like flat frequency response, especially the mid-range, low noise level, and there were other parameters. Sure. Again, I don't remember all of them, but basically the research found out what it is that makes something good sound, and actually what happened is we figured out that 95% of the people, they prefer the same type of sound.
Okay.
And we've been consistent designing speakers using this philosophy. So we can be sure that every Paradigm speaker will actually sound, will perform.
Well, it's a good match.
Yeah,
it's a good match. Does everything made in-house?
A lot. Again, everything is designed by us in Canada. At a certain price point, we just can't compete manufacturing in Canada. There is basically no point. So some products we outsource overseas, but a lot is made in Canada actually. And if you visit the factory, you'd be surprised how big it is. We do all our woodwork for Paradigm product. I mean those premium ranges, not the entry level. We do drivers, we do cones, we do voice coils. Actually, there is a person who has experience of working 30 years just winding voice coils for speakers. So really there is a lot of competence there in Canada. The company has been in the market for 40 years, more than 40 years. So there is a lot of experience there that we're using. And the research I told you about still continues. So we are working on new materials because, people say that the best speakers were made in the past. It's not true. There's been a lot of development, new materials being found that actually are more faithful in terms of reproduction. So the research continues. If you look at the Persona range, we use beryllium drivers for their parameters because they are rigid but also light. So we continue, looking for new materials that would actually push the envelope and help us improve the quality of sound reproduction.
Sure. Is there a special technique, engineering, innovation behind the Anthem? Because there's a lot of stuff that packed into this box.
Yeah, I would say that's performance. One thing you can take for granted is performance. I mean, whoever you talk to in the industry will tell you that Anthem actually performs at all price levels, and people see it as a step up in relation to some other brands. So performance is guaranteed. Just look at specs. You will be really hard pressed to find an amp with similar specs at those price points. And then you can hear that, right? Because the less noise you have in the product, the more detail you'll get out of whatever you're listening to.
Yeah.
So that's obviously performance. And as we talked about people working at Park, designing, the former university lecturers responsible for the research, they still continue developing new technologies. And one thing I want to specifically mention is Anthem room correction.
Again, ARC.
Yeah, correct. So you will see this sign on every amp basically that we manufacture, and it stands for Anthem room correction. That is a software that we have actually developed and written and have improved over the years to get more and more out of it. And what it does actually, it allows you to calibrate the amp for take into account the acoustics of a given listening space. So, I mean, in every room we've got issues because we've got reflections coming out of walls. Windows, and then as a result, certain frequencies are, bumped, and then you've got dips in other frequencies. Right. So you will struggle to have a flat frequency. Which we all want, right? Because that's quality.
Exactly.
But unfortunately, life isn't perfect. Our rooms are increasingly difficult to tune because it's actually fashionable to have empty spaces these days.
Exactly.
Very reflective spaces. So obviously, the first thing I would say, try to treat the room as much as you can, and start from there. But then software helps you optimize the performance in a given room. Because what will happen, you will use your laptop, you can download software from the website. It's actually for free, available for free. And that's again a huge difference compared to some other options that you have to pay to get the highest level of performance.
And the sub control as well.
Correct. So first of all, you use a microphone which is included in all the products. For the premium products, you also have the boom for the microphone included. So you have the full measuring system. All you need is a computer. You plug the microphone, connect to the unit, make the sweep, and then play with the microphone, move it across the room in different locations, and then as a result you get a correction curve which is applied, so your product will sound as perfect as possible within a given listening space. That's one of the benefits. The other benefit that actually was added quite recently is the subwoofer management. So the app actually will now allow you to integrate the sub perfectly. It will set all the levels for you, plus it will automatically set polarity and phase as well.
Wow.
And that saves you a lot of time, because if you're into subwoofer placement, you know how difficult it is.
It's one of the worst nightmares.
You have to move around the room, find the first
spot. If you have to crawl.
Still, I mean, it's advisable to actually find the best spot, because the better spot you'll find, the easier it will be to calibrate for you later.
For sure.
But again, the app, so this software helps you find the best position, because you've got the microphone and you've got the quick measure feature, which means you will see in real life the performance of the sub. And what you do is you move it. Does it improve? Yes. I'll try different location. And once you've found the best one, then obviously you calibrate, meaning you improve it even from there, so to speak. So I would say that's performance is taken for granted. If you look at Anthem, plus you've got a solution that actually makes it sound as best as it can in a given listening space.
That's right. And all your lineup. So you have the processor.
Yep.
And you have the AV receiver.
Correct.
And also the power amps.
Yeah, and receivers, which is actually all in one.
All in one. It's got power within it.
Yeah, plus processing.
Well, that's just Anthem alone. Now, what about Paradigm? Like Paradigm, it's a well-known speaker and subwoofer.
Yeah, correct.
With that, what's so special about their technology, apart from material that you mentioned about?
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned the research, right? Done in Canada. So we found out the things that matter for people: linear, flat frequency, especially the mid-range, which humans are most sensible to. They sense irregularities very quickly. And then it's smooth off-axis response. So the further, on-axis is basically when you're in front of the speaker. But if you move off-axis, normally with all speakers you get loss in certain frequencies. So again, you want to guarantee that we are as smooth as possible. So we stay within, let's say, minus 3 dB up to 30% of axis. And then low noise level. These are the lowest, as low as possible. The lowest possible, I would say we want to have signal to noise ratio higher than, the difference higher than 40-60 dB. So that's what we strive for. That was what research found. And then we added some things to it. Excellent power handling, which is especially important for home cinema. You want to experience the effects,
that's right.
Explosions.
Yeah, you want to feel the punch.
Exactly. So that's why actually one of the technologies I can mention is ART, which is active ridge technology, and that's a technology we use for the bass drivers. And if you see at the pictures, you'll see a ridge around the cone of the speaker. What it does, it allows the cone to be pushed even harder, which means the speaker will play louder, and the difference is really big. I don't remember exactly, but it's I would say 3 dB at least, if not 6. And then it will also allow the speaker to be more reliable and also play for longer.
Sure.
Because it will actually, it won't strain as much moving out. and back.
So more vibration, it's that's give out bad signal anyways.
So that's one technology I can mention. Okay, another thing we do, oblate spherical waveguide.
Waveguide, yes.
Yeah, that's a solution that we use for paradigm speakers. And what it does is actually the louder you listen to something, the less sound will be produced to the sides of the room, which means the sound will be more focused, and as a result you'll get fewer reflections.
Sure.
So again, this is something to help with the modern listening spaces, which are empty, very reflective. So this way you can actually control how sound is dispersed within the
Basic
room.
question, are they easy to drive?
Yes, they are quite sensitive if you look at specs, so not difficult to drive. Obviously, the better the amp, again, the better, the more you will achieve, right? Sure. Because the speaker has to be controlled. Right. We don't need an amp which doesn't control the speaker, right? It has to be driven as well. But it's not very, I would say, demanding in terms of those speakers are not very demanding.
So since we talk about these two brands so much, and it's gonna be interesting, but the question is, are they perfectly matched? Like, for example, if you use the ARC technology, which is Anthem room correction, and especially you work that in-house and you develop the voice coil and sound reflection and everything else, what's a strong point if you put them together? Are they beneficial?
Yes, they're designed by similar people. So again, by having those people design both, let's say, they share some things. Many times, when we design a product, we listen to it with paradigm speakers.
Do they talk to each other? Do they walk across the room and say, hey?
Yeah, of course. So that's, some technologies, like Anthem room correction is also used with paradigm subwoofers as well. So there are some commonalities. There is a lot of shared knowledge. And that's why I think, they actually work together. The good power handling, so the performance of the speakers, plus obviously the performance of Anthem, I think it's a good combination. And if you look at people around the world, the consumers, they match those two brands together in many cases. So do our distributors.
So we talked about all the technology and all the goods and fabulous about PML audios, PML sound. Things that I really concerned that you have made a big movement about the brand.
Yeah.
Right. So what's the movement and why making it?
Okay, so since I joined in November, we talked about it. Obviously, I spent some time looking at different markets, analyzing, our sort of distribution partners in different countries, and I was looking at ways to improve the situation. And the traditional hi-fi and AV industry is a peculiar industry. There are many hobbies there. There are not always many people who are business people in the strictest sense of this word. So I had a look at various countries. I also spent some time looking at Thailand, and I noticed this company Goldenduck. And again, the first thing I noticed was Cinemagica, I think the website. And actually, I sensed they're into home integration, custom install, the control systems, all the modern technologies. And again, which not many traditional hi-fi distributors are even familiar with, to be honest. So I sense, okay, that would be a good partner because actually we also see an opportunity to grow in this area. Our products are compatible, they work with the home control platforms. So Crestron's, control for all the things that Goldenduck are good at. So that was my first impression. It will be a good fit. Then after we spent some talking to each other, I realized actually they have a lot of experience in the cinema industry. So they've done a lot of cinemas themselves. They understand Dolby. They understand how to make home cinema works. So this is exactly what we need. And it's difficult to find somebody with this level of experience, especially somebody who can cover 4 countries for you. So we're talking about Thailand, we're talking about Malaysia, we're talking about the Philippines, and we're talking about Vietnam. Obviously, we're starting all those countries, but I see a lot of potential because there are many cinema lovers in those countries, and they need somebody with this level of experience. And I think people more and more are looking for custom installed products. Something, if you talk to women, they don't like any more big boxes in the room. While there is still a market for box speakers, and we still believe in it. I think more and more people move away from those, and they want more convenience, integration with control systems. They're looking at things like outdoor speakers. So there is more to explore that the traditional hi-fi people don't see.
I agree with that. So do you think this collaboration would make a big impact on Thai market?
I think so. I mean, we're doing all the right things. Obviously, and I don't see why the results can't come. They will.
Sure.
So it's about, in many cases it's about the focus. And the fact that we're talking about technologies now also shows that they're interested in technologies. They want to learn, they want to teach all the consumers. But I think people need to understand the benefits of the products, right. The brand values. And there is a lot to like about the brands. It's just you have to be focused enough to be able to learn, to want to educate people. And first of all, I would say give people the experience, because if you look at the demo facility they have, it's mind-blowing. I mean, you can really listen to various systems depending what your budget is. You've got how many rooms, 8 or 9, I don't remember exactly, different setups. So this is what we need. We need people to experience what is possible. And, going to traditional hi-fi dealers, they are not always able to do that.
So is there anything else that you would like to tell the Thai fans about the Anthem, Paradigm, Martin Logan, and the business joining?
Well, just if you need anything, contact those guys. The contact details are on the website. We are fully supporting them. So if there's anything they need from us, we're happy to support. And they are the guys to help you with any of your product needs locally.
นะครับเพื่อนนะครับนี่ก็คือมิสเตอร์บาร์ทอสนะครับจาก PML นะครับก็เราจะเห็นได้เลยว่าการจอย Business นะครับกับทาง Goldenduck เนี่ยนะครับเป็นการเขาเรียกว่าก้าวกระโดดครั้งสำคัญในวงการเครื่องเสียงของบ้านเรานะครับสำหรับวันนี้นะครับผมเก่งชาหวังว่าเพื่อนๆนะครับจะเปิดโอกาสให้ PML และ Goldenduck เนี่ยนะครับได้สร้างสรรค์ Innovation ดีๆไปพร้อมๆกันนะครับสำหรับวันนี้ผมเก่งชานะครับไปก่อนแล้วสวัสดีครับ